Thursday's Loose Women live. It's Kay Adams, Kelly Brook, Nadia Sawala and Jane Moore.
Thursday show. We've got lots coming up today. Fiona Phillips has shared an update about living with Alzheimer's, saying she can still find joy and value in life. We're going to be sharing our own thoughts on that at 12:45. Also, our Jane wowed on the catwalk at the beginning of London Fashion Week last night. Ooh, we'll be hearing all about it later. I had a shot centre stage. You looked amazing. And
will you stop looking round? Just pull over!
ooh, last night another Emmerdale resident lost their life after the terrifying limo crash. Layla may be no more, but thankfully actress Roxy Shahidi is alive. She is going to be telling us why her final scenes were her most emotional ever. And keep watching for some pretty big news about something that we're launching here on Loose Women. Oh no, all will be revealed very, very soon. The new Bridget Jones movie is out, of course. Bridget Jones, All About the Boy, has earned the best box office opening ever for a romantic comedy in the UK. We were talking about it last Friday, and one of us was very, very sceptical about it. Let's just remind ourselves. Well, what are you doing then?
Well, it's awful, actually.
Oh, right, OK.
We're going to see Bridget Jones.
Oh, why is that awful? Why is that awful?
Well, because it's sequelitis. It's just been done to death, but we've got to see it.
Oh. So?
Oh, God, it's so embarrassing. Mark and I moaned all day, all week, actually. We sat in and about 5 minutes in, we were both really laughing. I cried twice out of both eyes, which hasn't happened for years. I usually only cry out of one eye now. And it was just mortifying. And we were like, all the way back to car, we were, what are we going to do? What are we going to say?
What, because you had to admit you were wrong?
We were so wrong. We were so... And also, I realised I hadn't watched any of the ones in between. I'd only watched the first one. So it was so bad that on the way home, I said to Mark, oh, should we watch all of the rest of them? It's actually very well. It's actually very well.
It's great.
And it's really romantic. I think it's going to end up being a Christmas film. So it was hard. I've had to admit it and say that I was very wrong.
Yeah.
Because I really had a go at all of you, didn't I?
You did. You did.
Is there nothing else you can see? Oh, my God.
But you've been very gracious, so are you good at admitting that you're wrong? Eating your words?
I've got better at that as I've got older, because I think when you're younger, you just think any change of anything, you're going to be like... You're going to undermine yourself, you know. But I think as you get older, it gets easier, do you not think?
Yeah. Well, Jane doesn't have that because she's never wrong.
I'm glad that you've brought that up.
I could see her sort of twinkling away, Jane, at the end, not sure.
No, I don't have any issue with saying I'm wrong when I'm wrong, which obviously is quite rare. No, but I know, I think as I've got older, and I think also if you just straight away, if it's something, you know, you just straight away say to somebody, oh, my God, I'm so sorry I got that wrong, it completely disarms people, and then you just move on, and it's actually quite liberating. But I will not do that thing, which I think a lot of women do. So, like, sometimes, I don't know, if you're sitting with somebody and I go, oh, that's a nice orange jumper, and they'll go, actually, it's red.
Oh, correcting people.
And then you might go, well, actually, no, it's orange. And then, oh, you've always got to be right, haven't you? And I think women have a tendency to think, oh, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want somebody to accuse me of thinking that I always want to be right, when actually you're just saying, no, this is my point of view.
It's actually burnt sienna.
With my husband. Sienna. I like it.
I have to say, I mean, I don't know what you're like in your relationship.
Well, I always say to my
husband,
I just say to my husband, I accept your apology for being wrong. He's like, I didn't apologise. So in our relationship, I'm always right and he's always wrong. Or if I am right, I'll say, oh no, you just misunderstood what I was saying. I actually did agree with you. Because he's French, he doesn't know.
Oh, they're not good at apologising, are they?
They're not good at apologising in general, no.
Bit of a cultural generalisation there to all our lovely French people. Now, tennis star Emma Raducanu has spoken out on social media after a really disturbing incident yesterday. She broke down in tears on court. She spotted a man that she feared was stalking her in the crowd. And as I say, she's now put out a statement. She says, thank you for the messages of support. It was a difficult experience yesterday, as I'm sure it was, but I'll be okay, and I'm proud of how I've come back and competed despite what happened. Emma, who has been stalked previously by somebody else, had apparently been approached by the man at her hotel, and he apparently exhibited what is described as fixated behaviour. Now, we know that stalking is on the rise. Conviction rates are very low. Is this... I think we have started to take it more seriously, Jane. But,
yes, and we need to.
But do we need to take it even more seriously?
Well, I think a lot of people that would look at that story, you know, there's a few people in the world that will go, oh, what's the big deal? It's just a fan who said hello in a hotel and is now in the audience. But it's not that. It's like she's been stalked before, and it's terrifying. And I've interviewed a lot of people who've been stalked. And
what is your understanding of what it is to be stalked?
It's like it creates a terrible anxiety, and it invades your peace of mind, I think, is the only way. And particularly because now it's much easier for people to find where you live, things like that. So they start to write letters to you at your house, and suddenly your safe space is like, oh my God, they know where I live. So then when you come out your door, you're going like this, thinking, are they here? And it's right, you know, when... you know when somebody's exhibiting a certain type of fixated behaviour. And there's a guy called Philip Grindell who I've interviewed, who runs a company called Defuse Global, and he's advised loads of people. He's brought this book out on personal threat management, and you think, my God, we're in a day and age now where this is needed, you know. And he advised Kim Leadbeater after her sister Jo Cox was murdered. Just about, and he's advised lots of female MPs. This is a dangerous world now. And I think with social media, you know, because everybody's putting out a lot about their lives, it instills in a lot of people, oh, I know this person. I know this, but I've got a relationship with this person.
And there, Emma, she is a young woman who, if she is going to pursue her chosen career, has no option but to be out there. I mean, well, Kelly, have you...
I've been in the public eye for obviously many, many years, and I've definitely seen a huge shift. I mean, back in the 90s, if I had people knocking on my door asking for an autograph, I would happily sign it and not think anything of it. But in the last few years, I've had a few incidences, and it's now like a course of conduct. So the police take it very seriously. After 2 visits, unwanted visits, and like some people that are kind of have some kind of fixated behaviour towards you, they can actually arrest them straight away and do a lot of investigation. And in the beginning, I always found, I was like, well, no, they're just fans, and if you just like, maybe just chat to them. And it took a police officer to sit me down over a cup of tea and say, Kelly, you have to take it seriously because they've been to your house on multiple occasions, even though they haven't done anything. It's not right.
That's overstepping the line.
And it is, but because I'm, you know, I've got a friendly nature, I'm on the radio, I'm on television, I am approachable, and so people will come up to me. So it's very hard to not want to ruin someone else's life, like an overeager fan, but also to protect yourself and other people. Because if they're fixated on you, they might be fixated on somebody else later on down the line and take it that step further.
But approaching you if they chance across you in a shop or on the tube or whatever is one thing, that's fine. But actively turning up at your home address, to me, is overstepping a line.
And a lot of people will say that they found it incredibly difficult to get police to take them seriously. And actually, I was talking to somebody yesterday who'd been stalked. The person was arrested, he got a sentence, he came out and started the exact same behaviour again. And she and her family, they had to move house. Now that, to me, is terrorising. You're inciting terror into somebody's every part of their life. And I feel, you know, the sentences are very short, really, aren't they? Like a year. And what happens in that year? And then they come out and they pick up that behaviour. We've got to think about what are we going to do for when they come out.
It's difficult because you want to share your life. I mean, I used to share pictures of my garden and my home, and the police said, Kelly, you just got to stop. None of your house, none of where you are. If you want to post, do it once you leave, and that's it. You've just got to be really diligent with this because people, that you've got fans that are interested and are nice, and then you've got the few, which unfortunately are sinister, and they take it too far, and you've got to protect yourself. And that's just not people in the public eye. That is in general.
Well, do you know what?
Everybody.
Kelly, that is such a good point, because when you look at the figures, it's 1 in 7 people in the UK have been stalked. stalked. So this isn't just about people who are in the public eye.
Crazy
1 in
numbers.
7 people, and that is 1 in 5 women. So we're talking 20% of women, 1 in 11 men, 20% of women and 10% of men. So these are big, big figures, they really are. Still to come, Emmerdale's Layla and Jane's catwalk debut. But coming up next, Fiona Phillips has said she is still finding joy whilst living with Alzheimer's. But how easy is that to do? We are sharing our own experiences next.